Hello and welcome everybody to Glasshouse Gaming. Let's talk. Now, what are we going to be talking about today? Today we are going to be talking about H1Z1. Now, this open beta is a battle royale game by Daybreak. It's been around for a wee while on PC, but on June 22nd it actually dropped for PlayStation 4, and right now, other than PC, it is only available for the PlayStation 4, and this particular game has been specifically designed for console, so this is going to be very interesting to see how this game develops over time here. Now, I played the open beta on another account just to get a bit of experience and see if it was worthwhile doing a video about, and as you can see here, I'm just scrolling through some of the menus to see how you can dress up your avatar in various articles of clothing. And not so much just now, but certainly when I started playing, the first thing I saw instantly is that your apparel is actually going to play quite a big part in how you are going to survive in the battle royale aspect there, because your apparel actually blends into the background if you so choose. If you are going to run about in a neon pink blouse, then you are going to be easier for other enemies to spot. Now, the reason why I say this, the reason why I feel like this needs to be brought up, is because now when I'm going to compare this game to Fortnite, it doesn't really matter what your avatar looks like, because things like camouflage doesn't really come into it. On my first impressions of the game, you can see here texture drop-in was quite an issue. Now granted, we're doing this video quite a few weeks in now actually, and this footage was captured just a couple of days once the beta went live, so I am giving it the benefit of doubt. But there was quite a few times as soon as you dropped into the map there, it took quite a while for that texture to kick in, and that was even as if the parachute spawned. There was a couple of times where my avatar was just left in the testing phase, levitating miles and miles into the sky there, until eventually the game remembered that I need to have boots on the ground. And again, once it remembered the parachute needed to be in place, the texture drop in, it took a long time for it to actually catch up and go with the system. But what I noticed thankfully was that as soon as I got boots on the ground, it wasn't a problem anymore. Now, this game, it's very fast paced, and you've really, I suppose like any other battle royale, you've really got to be quite lucky that you land beside some sort of weapon, or at least a backpack, so you can carry more weapons as you progress if you survive. Now, the one immediate annoying thing that I notice as I'm playing through this game is that you don't get much choice in where you're going to drop. Think to PUBG, you've got that plane, so it's up to yourself when you parachute out of that plane, then it's up to yourself when you actually deploy the parachute, and that dictates roughly where about on the map that you are going to spawn. Well, not spawn, but land and get on with it. Now, in Fortnite, you've got much the same way. Fortnite, you've got the party bus, and it acts very much like the plane. You get to pick exactly whereabouts on the map that you want to play and start the game off in. H1Z1, not so much. You're randomly levitating anywhere upon the map, and then a parachute opens, and you actually get very little control of where that parachute takes you, which is incredibly frustrating. So you are relying quite heavily on luck, and just a few scenes there, you actually saw me parachute in. I was lucky enough to pick up an Uzi. I found somebody to shoot, and then I rounded the corner, and then I immediately died, which is frustrating, because you're going to see a lot of that. If you don't come in 86th place, you're going to come in 2nd place. That's what I found. There was no sort of middle ground. It's very much feast or famine. And the weapons, especially the shotgun, for being a primarily hip fire weapon, was actually quite appallingly crap. And you saw me try to do a bit of ADS there as well, and the ADS was just as equally as appalling. It is a very powerful weapon, but it's very much down to luck if you're actually going to be able to hit anybody with it, which again is a bit counterintuitive for a shotgun. Next up, you just saw there an crossbow firing explosive bolts there, and the bullet drop was quite. If you're a strong battlefield player, you'll be quite used to dealing with bullet drop, but with this crossbow, I just felt the bullet drop gravity was kicked up a couple of notches there. But again, I suppose like anything else, it's all about practice. Try and get in as much as you can there. The action, I hinted before, it's very fast paced. Now, so in Fortnite you have that the electrical storm, same with PUBG as well, and in H1Z1 the area denial comes in the form of this toxic gas, and I must say area denial progression is much quicker in H1Z1. It is incredibly fast paced, I can't stress that enough. PUBG, yeah, you have quite a lot of time actually just to doss about the map and pick your spot to camp, and the same is actually for Fortnite as well, if I'm being quite honest. H1Z1, you don't get that opportunity. If you camp, you die. That's pretty much it. So it depends on your playstyle. I mean, for me, I'm not much of a camper, so it doesn't really bother me, but I know that could be an issue for quite a lot of other people. Moving on to the vehicles. Now, the vehicles in here, right, you're going to be driving it, but it's not exactly going to be a Colin McRae game or anything like that. It gets you from A to B, and it gets you from A to B quite quickly and quite safely as well. But the trouble is that they're very noisy, and trust me, everybody in the map is going to know that you're driving a vehicle near them. And in like this scene, if you happen to be around other players with the same idea as you, either using vehicles to escape from the gas or using the vehicles as a temporary means of being safe, because a moving target is going to be much harder than a target walking on the ground there. Eventually the gas will close in, and if you can see on the bottom left of the map there, the green gas has gotten so small that it's pretty much standstill, and everybody's driving in very tight circles around cars, and people are having to jump in, jump out, trying to shoot, get a couple bullets in. And as you see here, it's very much luck based. So my hands-on experience of H1Z1 so far, this is the perfect example. When it gets down to the final 10, it just seems to turn into Destruction Derby, which isn't so much a criticism, I guess. It's just something I've observed so far in the few games that I played in around this year. So another point to make is that there's basic weapons surrounded about the entire map, and in this map you get military crates like that there. Now you can tell if you are near them, because your environment, you'll start to hear like static and radio chatter. So if you hear that whilst you're playing, just simply try and find the source of that noise and you will find a military crate. And almost always these military crates are going to be above your head, very much again like Fortnite. So moving on, if you are looking at this footage and thinking, you know what, Glasshouse, this looks awfully like PUBG, I wouldn't blame you. The reason why it looks awfully like PUBG, and I feel like I have to bring this knowledge forward, is because the chap that actually created PUBG, a guy called Brendan Green, he actually created H1Z1 Battle Royale first. So it's the same guy that's made this as has made PUBG, and he's playing his cards right, because so far at time of print PUBG is only available for the Xbox, whereas H1Z1 is only available for PlayStation. So he's got the market pretty much cornered. The biggest rival, certainly for this game on the PlayStation 4, is Fortnite. Now H1Z1 did incredibly well because in its opening weekend it secured 200,000 concurrent players. That actually surpassed, out of the entire lifetime of H1Z1 being available to play on PC, of 150,000 concurrent players. And already within its first week it ramped up 4.5 million players downloaded this game and are playing it at this moment. Now it's got nothing against Fortnite, because Fortnite actually has 4.5 million concurrent players, but give it time, because Fortnite and H1Z1 are two completely different games, and I can see a big chunk of the Fortnite player base actually moving on over to H1Z1 because perhaps they are a bit more PUBG orientated. But that's up to debate, that's up to everybody's special preferences. I would definitely recommend checking this game out though, because it is a solid game. As I said before, it is very simplified. It's taken all of the technicalities of PUBG, it's stripped it all down, and it's given the player a very simplified access to a battle royale style of game. Now, Daybreak, they're going to be continuously adding to this game here, and it is still forever going to be free to play. They're wanting to add more weapons and give even a weapon progression system in place as well. So they are trying to make themselves more appealing to the Fortnite market. So the burning question, what do you think's better? Let us know in the comments below. Are you going to be playing H1Z1 or are you going to be playing Fortnite? I can still see the allure of Fortnite, because in Fortnite it's more of an arcadey, it's got a bit of a supernatural theme to it as well, especially considering that if you don't have cover, if there's no trees or anything to hide behind, you've got the tactical advantage because you can harvest resources and create your own cover. If there's something on top of a cliff and there's no way up, you can create your own staircase. So it really is going to come down to matter of opinion, but I honestly can see, especially in the absence of PUBG being on PS4, there's going to be a huge chunk of Fortnite players migrating on over to H1Z1. So if you've enjoyed this video, please like and throw us a subscribe, and certainly comment down below. As always, have a good one folks.